lot of people, and let me just tell you about a misconception that us law students have when we're in law school. We believe that we should be getting a paid internship. Yeah, right. Let me tell you something. I just want you to expect to have like real expectations, and to be honest, you thinking you're gonna get a paid internship coming whilst you're still in law school, to be honest, or even coming straight out of law school, I'm here to tell you that that is not going to happen. Now, yes, a small handful of people do and are lucky enough to get a paid internship, and that's wonderful. To who's to you? I wish I was so lucky, but I wasn't. I was one of those students that we had to grind for every single thing that we wanted. And let me tell you something. You want to hear a little secret? Let me tell you. If you're a minority, you better get your grind on in this profession. Hate to tell you the truth, but it's true if you didn't know already. Anyway, so yes, a handful of us do get paid internships, and kudos to you. Wonderful. That is lucky. That's 1 in a million. And you better just be real grateful that that is what you was able to land. But to the people that aren't so lucky to get a paid internship, let me tell you what you need to do in order to get a internship. Number 1. Make sure that this profession is really for you. That's the honest bit. To be honest, so many people go into law school thinking it's going to be a piece of cake. And they drop out within their first year. Or they don't make it through their first year because they weren't really paying attention. Nor did they really have a love for it. Maybe their parents wanted them to go to law school and that's why they chose to go. But this isn't the type of profession to get into if you're not passionate about it. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Let me tell you, it's a pain and suffering to your co-students, and it's a pain and suffering to your tutors. Just don't bother. So definitely know that this is the profession that you definitely, absolutely, 110% want to be in, okay? Second, research. Google, like I say in majority of my videos, Google is your best friend. Okay? Make sure that before you start applying for internships and things like that, make sure that you've researched, number 1, what area of law do you really think you want to get into? That's important, because if you don't know the exact area of law that you want to get into, then okay, you could do a general, but you really want to try and get in at least for your first internship. And I'll get back to this because I think you should do more than one. But at least for your first internship, you should definitely go into a firm or a court that you know for a fact that that's kind of the area that you're looking at. So if you're into civil court, if you're into civil law, then go with a civil firm. Research your firms and make sure that that's the area of law that you all want to. Because number 1, you're going to come off way more passionate in your interviews than you would if, say, I was into criminal law and I've gone to a civil firm. But just because I only went to that civil firm because they just advertised the fact that they had an internship. No, don't do it. No, don't. And I'm telling you this because if you don't really have that passion for that area at first, then it's kind of hard when you're in there. People will be testing your skills. They'll be giving you work that maybe you don't understand or maybe you don't want to do, or you know, that's not really your area. So I would definitely say that you need to go into the area that you're interested in the most first. Learn their ways and see if that is definitely an area that you definitely want to stay in. That's important Then you're going to research all the firms that are in your area that provide these services and stay within that area. Okay, it's very, very important. You definitely want to do that. 3, you're going to reach out. But before you reach out to the firms, let's talk about that resume, shall we? You don't want a resume that is bogged down, full of all this extra information that is not needed. Your resume does not need to be any more than 2 pages. And to be honest, if you're in law school, then people aren't really going to read tons and tons of pages of why you think you're fantastic for that job. No, they want to know what your experience is, what your qualification is, and it's always good to have a little bit of a slight personal piece of information about yourself, like your skills and your hobbies and things like that. It's always good for them to get to know what type of person you are so that they know who they're going to be interviewing. But they don't want to read tons and tons of pages about why you think you're fantastic for the job. That is what the interview is for. Okay? The interview is for that. Your resume is to get you through the door. So make sure you have somebody professional. I would say if you could find somebody or know anyone that's in HR that deals with this, or a recruiter, I would definitely get them to look over your resume to see if it's an attractive resume in order to land your internship. Okay, so 4th thing. Okay, apply. I don't mean apply to 3 firms that you think are the top firms. I just want to go to the top firms in Houston. No. Because guess what? That top firm that you've been trying to get into, most likely a lot of other students are trying to get into that too. So it's probably best that you apply, and keep applying to more firms. Those firms, because then the more you apply, the more of a chance that you will actually land an interview. I'm not even talking about landing the internship. I'm talking about landing the interview. So, we've applied. We've applied to more than 3 different law firms. We've applied all around the city, every area that you can possibly get to on a daily basis. Because this is going to be like a job, you're probably going to have to put in 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, sometimes 8 till 6. So be prepared for that. As I've always been taught, law has no hours. Okay? If you think this is going to be a regular 9 to 5 job, honey, you are so mistaken. It is not a 9 to 4 profession. So definitely get that out of your head first. Okay, great. We've applied and we've had a couple of phone calls back asking me to come in for an interview for an internship. Great. We're now in a really good position because guess what? My resume was great. It's grabbed people's attention and now they're calling me for an interview. Tips and tricks. And I think it's pretty obvious what I'm going to say, but I just want to tell you guys again because some people, and let me tell you something, I interview interns all the time. And some people, honey, no ma'am. No ma'am and no sir. So you always want to make sure you show up early. Make sure you have figured out where you're going, you have parked if you're driving or you're dropped off, whatever you need to do. Show up early, let them know that you are there. That's the number 1 thing. You should be waiting on them, not them waiting on you. So don't be late. Number 2, treat this like a job interview. And I mean to say this as in treat this like a job interview that you are trying and have worked your ass off to get, because you need to look the part. Just because the firm is in a little box office does not mean they don't want you to look the part, because at some point they're going to want you to go to court too. And guess what judges don't like? Judges don't like people that don't dress the part, especially if this is your profession and this is what you want to do. And if you're going to be standing next to that attorney in front of the judge, then you need to look the part. I'm just being honest, okay? So look the part. The next tip and trick is be yourself. I know interviews are nerve-wracking, and I try every time I interview students, I try to bring in my personality to try and bring them down. Now, not everybody has the same personality that I have that makes people try to feel calm and relaxed and comfortable to talk to you, because I know you're nervous. You really want this position. You're dying to get this because you know that you, along with all the other students in your class, and other law schools across the city, are all trying to land internships for the summer. So make sure you try and calm down. If you're nervous, ask for a cup of water or something before you go in. I always try and say bring your own water with you, bring a pen, okay? And yes, sometimes people go blank. I've had an interview where I was so nervous because I wanted the position so bad, and I'd stayed up all night the night before researching this company, and I blanked in the interview. But thank God that the lady that later on became my manager, and she was the director. This is why it was so much more stressful for me, because she was the director of law of the legal team, and I was interviewing to be like her assistant, because I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go for an assistant role so I can move myself on up. Smart move, guys. If you do that, smart move, because you're learning the trade and you're learning different areas. And this is private in-house. So anyway, she calmed me down in that interview, and it ended up being a conversation, and it went well, and I got the job. I don't know how I got the job, because when I first walked in, I was good. When I met everyone, because you get to meet certain people when you go to a place, and people will look at you like, oh, that's the new girl, that's the new girl, oh, that's the new guy. People try to gauge what type of personality you're gonna have. And apparently I was loved straight through as soon as I showed up, and just the first things that was coming out of my mouth, they loved me. So I was grateful that, I'm not even joking, I didn't even get to my car from the interview before they were calling me and telling me they had offered me the position and did I want it. They didn't even wait. I was like, yeah. Yes, please. When do you want me to start? And that was my first job out of law school. Okay, so that was big that I stayed in my profession and I got a job straight out of law school. It took a long time to get there, but I finally did. It took a couple months out of law school and I was getting stressed out about it, but I finally did. And I'm telling you, God works in mysterious ways, and He has blessed me more than once on one occasion. So definitely listen to this video, okay? Okay, so next, so just be yourself in the interview. They want to see if you're a good fit. The point of the interview is, yes, to see what kind of knowledge and what level you're at so that they can gauge. But this is an internship, it's free. But they definitely are trying to figure out if you're the right fit for that firm or that court. So just be yourself, because that's the best way that they're going to gauge the type of personality and the type of person that you are, and if that's going to be a good fit for what they have going on. So be yourself. Okay, so don't forget, if that dreaded question comes up, well, tell us what you know about us. Try not to blank, just stay cool, calm. You already studied this. You should have studied it. I already told you in step 2, research, but we'll go back. You should have studied this. You know what they're about and you know what they do. So that's great. And if you happen to know who you're having an interview with and try and look them up and their position, then you can try and build off having more of a one-on-one conversation with them so that you can understand what their role is and how your role fits into theirs and what you'll be learning. Okay? Next tip. I think I'm at 5 or 6. I don't know. It's gonna be down here. Like there, I think. Don't look at my nails. Ah! Okay, it's gonna be on that side. 5 or 6, can't remember right now. But the next tip is have at least 5 questions that you're going to ask them. Now, these could be granted these could be questions that you actually already have the answer to. Don't ask anything too simple or too easy, but definitely ask things like, what would be the type of things that you would be expecting me to do? So you know, like, what their expectation is of you. And if they haven't really gone into the role, because a lot of the time they're really busy and they don't really have time to go into stuff for interviews. So you ask, okay, so what does the internship here look like? And like try and gauge like certain questions like that. But also what I forgot to say is everybody asks, what are your weaknesses? Okay, I ask you, what is your weakness? Do not tell me sometimes I forget things. Sometimes I run pretty late. Sometimes I misplace documents. Don't do it. Don't tell them. Yes, you're going to be truthful, but you don't need to tell them and keep it at a negative. This is how you answer that type of question. Okay. What is my weakness? So my weakness is I'm a perfectionist. I actually come down on myself a lot when I don't get things done or don't do it to the standard that I hold myself accountable for. So that is something that I'm trying to work on and try not to be so hard on myself. That is a great weakness. Ding, 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 ding. Points. You want to keep your weakness, but you want to make it into a positive so that therefore they're going to go with the positive. Okay? And it leaves it on a positive note. They don't want you to be like, oh, I lose documents. I have no attention to detail. Don't say that type of stuff because that is not what they're looking for. And they are just going to be like, next. This my resume. Pooh. It's gone. They're not going to be interested. And trust me, you're not the only intern that's knocking at their door. Okay? And then after your interview, my next tip is relax. You've done everything you've done. You've left it in God's hands. But just relax. You are yourself. And that is it. That's all you can do. However, also make sure you know your availability. Tips for the interview when it happens. You know your availability and you know what hours you're going to provide. And stick to those hours. Stick to that availability. And if you cannot, for whatever reason, make sure you communicate. Communicate. No firm likes you to start off real big and great and grand and then all of a sudden you're gone again. No, that's not what we're looking for and that's not what we need. So make sure you stay and keep the lines of communication open. And that's pretty much it. I think I've gone through all the tips and tricks to landing your internship straight out of law school. Make sure your resume is good. Let's just recap, shall we? Research the area that you want to go into and make sure you have a love for it. Research the companies that are in your area that supply and actually practice in this area and that you can actually get to easily on a daily basis. Do your research. Oh wait, I already said research. Make sure you have somebody or try to get someone to look over your resume. Make sure there's no spelling mistakes, great attention to detail, and do not overclog it or block it and do not overclog it with a lot of unnecessary information that no one cares about. Don't do it. 5, show up early to the interview with water. 6, make sure you have all of your weaknesses down and impact in your head, but turn them into a positive. You don't want to keep that negative energy in your interview at all. 6, be yourself. 110%, just be yourself. Show your personality. That's what they want to know. They want to see if you're a good fit for their company. So make sure you do that. And 7, make sure you have at least 5 questions, because chances are during the interview, they've probably answered about 3 or 4 of them. Sorry. They probably have answered about 3 or 4 of those questions, unless you come up with some real good questions that they would never answer in an interview. So make sure you have 5. Let's just add up an extra one. Say 6, just to be on the safe side. Because you don't want them to say, do you have any questions? And you sit there going, no, I think that's it. I think I'm good. Don't do it. Go and relax. Enjoy yourself and just leave it in God's hands, because you've done everything that you possibly can do. Oh, one last thing. Yes, it's great to accept offers, but always just ask for 24 hours just to make sure that you definitely have thought it through. If they are offering you an internship, ask them if you can have 24 hours just to confirm and make sure that your ducks in a line, so that because if you do say you have interviewed with several different firms, then you want to just make sure that that's definitely the firm that you wanted to go to, because potentially maybe another firm that you actually felt more of a vibe with, that you really clicked with, maybe they're gonna call you or they have called you. But just don't say yes straight away. I would definitely give it about a good 24 hours. They're still gonna be there the next day, and then answer. And that's Candidly V's tips and tricks to landing an internship whilst you're in law school. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have and you want to learn more about being a law student, internships, jobs, and everything in between in the legal profession, then make sure you hit that subscribe. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell on, because you don't want to miss the next episode of Candidly V. Thanks guys, I love you. I'm so happy you guys came to watch and to join and to learn tonight, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye guys.